spear into the hearts of whoever they'd be facing from Group B. You hear the crowd in the background cheering here for the Chinese squad. That's going to be starting things off over on the defense. We'll see Eileen here with this Sombra. She's going to be building up for that EMP as swiftly as possible.
So Eileen's been running the Sombra on defense, the Genji on attack, and it's been so deadly here on the defense of Hollywood, always getting this health pack and harassing anyone who comes in from the back line. Mue, though, will be on the Sombra as well, so it's going to be a Sombra versus Sombra battle. Obviously, the defender always has an advantage with that here on Hollywood.
And get those fast tracks in onto the health packs, but for now that's going to be Jazzy going that off screen. Leapin comes through from Hyper, but might be overstepping his bounds, and he is. Does go down, and Mix as well going to get popped out of that mech. So this first attack here from the side of Hong Kong will be staved off. And you can see they're just going to go ahead and stagger Mix as long as humanly possible. The bullying coming through. She'll wake up from that nap and likely be taken down.
So for most of the strategy here for China, it's been kind of to corral everyone into that doorway. It's going to be a little bit tougher with Mu on this more mobile Sombra, but they kind of corral him into that back room, and that's when Yao Yao does the damage on the Winston. He's kind of been the carry here for DPS.
Well, Eileen getting found rather swiftly there by Hong Kong. Go ahead and sniff out that Sombra, so has to just snap back with the Translocator. Not going to be finding any damage. No threat onto Jazzy at the moment, but still does have to be worried about that EMP when it does come through, because it's ready to go.
Just need to make sure not to stack up too much when that EMP comes down. Splitting between the room and the hallway here, or the passage is definitely the way to do it. Here comes the EMP. Doesn't hit Mango, actually. He's got the tack visor.
Yeah, throws down that biotic field as well, but has to sprint away because the tank line here from China is just pushing forward. Will get himself out of there safely. But the rest of Hong Kong, not really going to be so lucky. Hack here from Eileen. Just a Clips mix, but they can't find the kill. They will be chasing rather far forward, trying to find him. Just going to be sitting here in the gift shop. They'll just let him be.
Yeah, gonna get some extra charge there for Eileen, now building up to 20%. Even though Mango didn't get hit by the EMP, the tack visor kind of ended up being a bit wasted, as you said. Yao Yao shutting him down there, MG as well. So now Mango's taking the high ground approach here. Good angle for him, actually, kind of pushing the tanks back here, so he's got free reign.
Yeah, we see that EMP coming down here from Mue as they try to take the fight, but that's going to be the tack visor coming through, and already Jazzy has been eliminated, undead. Just firing away, comes up with that second kill as he gets rid of Mango. Looking for a little bit more here. Biotic Grenade does come down, denying a lot of healing on the side of Hong Kong. We'll get Panda in right on the exit. They are yet again going to pursue this all the way forward. Mue barely not able to pick up that health pack. Will die as undead just goes ahead and keeps racking up the kills, making that KDA climb. A minute 20 left on the clock. China holding strong.
Undead, the most famous player here in China, the captain of the team, and tack visor or no, his aim has just been so incredible, tracking Mue down there, even not having vision of him, but knowing exactly where he was, shooting him, revealing him there, getting the headshots in without the tack visor, showcasing his skill. Now China with the ult advantage here, especially that EMP, and Eileen is looking for it here in the backline, drops it down, looks for the pick here on the Jazzy and gets it.
Yeah, he's just going to fall with the help of the Winston there. They are able to take him out. Pandarin staying alive, at least for the moment. Turned back a little bit, but still Hong Kong going to be losing half their teammates. So they're just going to get stopped out yet again. Now it's just 45 seconds remaining on the clock as China is looking for this full hold, and now they're going to get this delay onto Mix yet again in that Baby D form, just sprinting around. They'll kill him this time, no sleep dart to really slow him up.
Looks like he wanted to try to use the self-destruct to remech there, but he got hacked, so he couldn't. Hyper's actually going to put an unusual Reinhardt switch into the mix here to try to force this through. It's going to be very difficult to pull it off. He's never going to have that Earth Shatter, but they can try to do this with the support ultimates. Mue will have the EMP. That's going to be quite critical. If the fight goes long enough, Hyper can build up that Earth Shatter. Just going to be using this as a defensive shield to come around the backside here to empower Mango. So a nice attempt here. We'll see if they can make it happen.
That's going to be the attack visor around here from Mango yet again. Now undead. Nano visor for him, pushing forward, looking for a target. Transcendence has come down from Jazzy, keeping everybody else topped off, but he still is able to find Panda, and he finds Mango. Then Mue with the Helix Rockets, undead, making it work, even with that Zenyatta ultimate thrown down. Mix, he's going to make it back into the mech, but barely so. Going to get popped right out. Will go down, and that should be the full hold completed here for China on Hollywood.
Yet again, they do it flawlessly. The Reinhardt pick there at the end, some desperation coming out on the side of Hong Kong. They want to do an older style push there. We've seen a few Reinhardts throughout this tournament, and it's usually at the end of desperation, whether it's on Hybrid at the end of King's Row, for example. We've seen it there, seeing it here on Hollywood. The idea is to get protection for Mango to come around the backside, surprise China. They have so many mobile heroes, though. Eileen spots us out right away to get around the backside of the Reinhardt. They can't pair the EMP with anything. The self-destruct completely useless there for Mix. He uses it just to remech, but everyone else is already dead. And China just outclassing again. And even though they said they were confident and they weren't taking Hong Kong very seriously, in gameplay, in-game, they are crushing it. And you got to worry now for Hong Kong. It's just going to take a tick here for China to crush through and take this first map.
Could be a very swift one, as has been the story whenever we have seen China play, have just been crushing everybody in their path. So we'll be swapping over to that attack, and like you say, 33%. All that China is going to need to go ahead and take away this first map.
So as mentioned earlier, it's Eileen on the Genji, Undead on the Tracer for the attack here. The more aggressive 2-2-2 dive with Yao Yao again on that Winston. He's been so good on the former Heroes of the Storm player. Made a name for himself internationally for China in Heroes, now moving into Overwatch, playing a different role, but damn is he good at that Winston. Again, corralling everyone into the rooms, finding that extra DPS, and now with more mobile heroes, with the Genji and the Tracer, it's going to be a lot easier for him to empower those. 5King, also one of these players in China that's just become so famous for his Lucio play. And for Hong Kong here, they're going to be putting Mix onto the Orisa. They're going to be trying a Torbjorn defense with the EMP. Very much all in on this, and you have to give them credit for trying to make this happen with such a tight defense, because they cannot allow even one tick, and it may surprise China when they come in for the attack. Yeah,
I mean, this can be dismantled very swiftly, though, if Hyper is one of the first ones to fall. See where that initial turret placement's going to be. Looks like he placed it very far forward, just trying to get as much chip damage in, as much percentage as he could possibly build up, but isn't finding a whole lot, not even at 10% yet. He'll just move the turret back here and has it set up behind the barrier from Mix. But if China can get on top of that, deny that Molten Core from coming through, then this could be a very swift take for China. But Undead will go down first and foremost. Seems like Hyper just coming up with the headshots there on perhaps the left click. So Undead will go down. Nice little pick off.
Definitely a very strong move against Tracer play. Obviously, Undead been playing it exclusively here on attack, and it shuts down the mobility. But the turret is down now. They're going to have to replace that. Nowhere near the Molten Core, unfortunately, only at 25%.
Just firing away. Defense Matrix here to chew up most of this damage coming out from the Orisa, and Hong Kong are just crumbling under the pressure. Do trade one back as Yao Yao will fall, but Mix has gone down. Hyper as well. Only 31% accrued on that Molten Core for him, and it seems like this could just be it here for China. Over halfway there, EMP will come down from Muwei, is able to get Shy, but the rest of his squad is falling. He's going to get cut down, and that is just going to be Hollywood going over to the Chinese squad, just like that.
Just like that, Achilleos, and it may have looked like a very one-sided attack, but you have to remember, if you're watching, if you're a newer Overwatch fan, all they needed was one segment of that meter, one tick, as we call it. And it's because China had the full hold. And when you go for an all-in like this with the Torbjorn Orisa, if it gets broken one time, you're basically done. It's an all-in defense. If it crumbles for just a second, everything falls apart. So that's what happened there when they got that second push.
Well, nothing too shocking here. Undead going to be the one coming up with the play of the game, has that nanovisor coming through and just cut down Mango as soon as he had popped his own and just picks up that nice and easy 3K.
Easy as it was against diva-less teams they've faced in this group stage, because MG is just so good at shutting that down.
Yeah, he's been staying on top of him this entire time. Don't expect that to change whatsoever. But Muwei still going to be coming out the gate here with the Sombra, wants to try to make this one work. Was outdone a bit there on Hollywood to have a turnaround performance, but Eileen back over onto this Genji, and this guy has already amassed a highlight reel of plays just during this tournament alone with this hero. So going to be looking to add a couple more clips onto that video. We'll see if he can do so. Already at 54% here for the Dragon Blade. That's just going to be a big deep dive in here from the Chinese side, jumping straight on top of the Hong Kong players, and Jazzy and Penderin will both be taken out right off the bat. So no heals available now for Hong Kong. Are able to trade back a couple kills to get rid of Yao Yao and 5King, but very much seem to be losing out on the exchange at the moment. Eileen getting healed up from that Orb of Harmony, able to right-click his way to success as he does take down Hyper, has the deflect here to mitigate a little bit of this damage, but 3 HP. Can he stay alive? One more shot would do it. Bounces up into the air, has finally gone down. Muwei hunts him down, finds the kill, and will be dropping in the EMP.
Gonna grab that health pack on the outside here too. They'll continue to contest. The respawn's though so far away right now for Hong Kong.
Muwei making it back into the stealth, avoids the rampaging Yao Yao, keeps himself safe at the moment, but it will be a nice contention here onto the point for this first cap. China nearly having it, but now Hong Kong posturing in, trying to deny this from coming through. This is going to want to be one of the bigger delays that we've had so far, but Eileen is looking to turn that around. Cuts Mix right out of that mech, will take him down to the cap. Finally comes through for China.
But Hong Kong has an ult lead here because they forced out the Primal Rage, they forced out the Dragon Blade. Two ults China had early in that fight. They had the better poke for that first exchange, and that's how they took their, started to win that fight, but they actually had to commit to those ultimates to flip it. So Hong Kong has a lot more tools right now. But look at Yao Yao sneaky up here on the scaffolding, jumping down, getting that extra damage.
Trying to be a sneaky monkey. We'll just come up with a little bit of damage coming through, trying to get back over towards that primal range. See the EMP coming through, but Shai's not clipped by it, and he's just going to go ahead, get that left click shot in onto Mue and take him down.
Yeah, just barely out of range there, not even needing the Transcendence to protect his teammates. He dove in a bit deep. And unfortunately, Hong Kong had everything else to pair with it had they used it better, but unfortunately, he just came in, dropped the EMP, and 5 other ults waiting on standby, but weren't there to pair with that EMP. They could still try to use them to engage and get the flip, but they're not going to have the EMP to work with.
Yeah, but yet again, China still going on the offensive as Yao Yao pushes in closer to that spawn. Transcendence will be coming down here from Jazzy, trying to keep everybody topped up, but Hyper's already gone down in the fight, and the Yao Yao building up now has the primal range available in the backside of the fight. Eileen getting rid of Mango, and Jazzy under fire will be taken down. Eileen just dashing his way through, comes up with yet another kill, and now has another Dragon Blade ready to go here for his squad. Might not even really need to use it. 66% ticking upward, looking for that 100, if not just the overtime force from Hong Kong.
You watch Eileen, a lot of the impressive highlights I've seen have been his Dragon Blades or him surviving with less than 10 health. But in this game in particular, his left clicks, his accuracy, his poke that allow the dive in. He's actually doing a lot of the extra poke damage with Undead to make those supports the valuable targets that we're seeing Yao Yao and MG dive into. So just looking good, not having to use his Dragon Blade in most cases even.
We see that self-destruct coming through. Double kill from MG, finds Pandaren and Mue, takes them out. Hyper, not long for this world. Can't get anything really from that health back. We'll go ahead, jump back up. Bought enough time, but it was really just delaying the inevitable point ticking up. Nobody's on it. Hong Kong will lose out on Night Market.
I'm so serious. So when you watch Eileen's first-person view, when you see the tossing in of the left clicks, he's actually able to accurately hit through the tanks there, the back line. He's hitting Jazzy, and hitting Jazzy hard. Jazzy goes low, and the second they see either Jazzy or Pandaren is low enough, that's when Yao Yao makes the call, dives and gets into the back line. When you watch that kill feed, you'll see the supports usually the first ones to die, if not Mue, who's being a little bit hyper-aggressive, jumping in, EMPing without his teammates. And so China's just capitalizing on mistakes over and over again, and oftentimes without using ultimates. So they just end up with a better ult economy. And for Hong Kong, it's got to be feeling really frustrating right now. The composition they had so much success with, they're sticking with it, but finding no success here against China.
Making a couple swap ups here. Mixwell is actually going to be going over onto that soldier, so triple DPS coming through from Hong Kong, but Mango's just going to go down right off the bat undead. Finds the enemy tracer and takes him out with relative ease now. Mix will find a kill, gets rid of that enemy, but is going to be in a bad spot. Gets jumped on, the orbs coming through, and MG right up into his face will take down that soldier. So already Hong Kong able to trade 1 kill back, but they lose 2 for it.
And with no D.Va now in the composition for Hong Kong, this means Eileen's left clicks, the backline poke is just so much stronger here at Kilios. As you can see, trying to get the damage done, Hyper's doing a lot to mitigate that right now, but he's actually finding himself a bit overextended. Look at his accuracy here.
Yeah, Cap still not coming through. Dash in, finds Pandaren yet again. Eileen just able to target out these supports very quickly. Just identifies that they are in a vulnerable spot. Not going to find Jazzy. He's just in the corner. There's not a whole lot that he can do. If he wins out on this 1v1, it'd be damn impressive, but he's just going to jump off the map in the end, and Shai is still there to scoop up the kill.
Looked like Eileen intentionally just wanted to make sure that death was staggered a little bit more. You usually only see that with the pilot D.Va, but even with the Zenyatta in this case, he just makes it last a little bit longer, that long death timer coming in, and they are building up those ult charges.
It's just one after the other. Jazzy respawns, immediately Pandaren goes down. They just keep exchanging all these supports. They barely have any time together to try to keep the entire team topped off, which just allows for easier pickups to come through here for China, getting rid of Mue just then.
Yeah, coming in a bit early.
That's going to be the fight breaking out, though, as Eileen goes forward with the Dragon Blade. Jazzy doesn't have that Transcendence yet. He's just going to get chopped down. Hack comes through, but the damage has been dealt. Hong Kong yet again suffering heavy losses. 4 members fall in.
I mean, Eileen is killing tracers over and over and over again with left clicks. The accuracy, the right clicks, tossing out the shurikens as well to help get the kills. The perfect Transcendence again from Shai right before the EMP. And unfortunately for Hong Kong, this is just not working out. We see the swap to the Genji. Feels like desperation. They're taking the D.Va away. That means more empowerment for Eileen, and now the Genji is going to be perhaps how they break this. They don't have those EMPs anymore.
I mean, Mue, he swaps over to the Genji, but everybody just targets him out immediately. You just see Yao Yao going forward, says, you know what, you can't mitigate this damage coming at you. Zaps him to death, and now Mue is going to be so much further behind on his Dragon Blade. Just swapped over, is at 40% Eileen right on his tail, but you know that Eileen is probably going to be able to build this up much faster than his opponent.
Now they have Mix back on the Sombra. They want to use the Sombra, but this caused them to lose more ult charge as well. They don't want to switch Mu onto the Sombra because they'll lose 60% of that Dragon Blade. Awkward here for Hong Kong. They've got one more opportunity realistically. Unfortunately, Hyper's already gone down.
They're going to be going all in on this one as Jazzy pushes forward with the Transcendence, but there's no one really there to back him up. Hendren throwing down the sound barrier as well. It's going to be the only recipient of that ultimate. Is alive, at least for the moment, but seems like Jazzy not going to be able to say the same. That final smackdown comes through as China goes ahead and closes out on Lijiang Tower. The 2-0 so far, and honestly, could just be a 4-0 on the way.
It could be. It feels that way. Yao Yao will be the play of the game here on the Winston. Let's see which one it is. It's going to be here on defending this point for the first contest with the Primal Rage, doing so much knockoff here. He was actually able to retake it with this Primal Rage. They used the Dragon Blade there as well. But I feel like it's tough when you're Hong Kong here, right? You come in as massive underdog already before the gates open.
Well, here they go. We already saw a full hold on Hollywood Point A. Can they do it again here on Horizon? Would be a very swift series if that were to come through. Hyper at the moment is going to be over here on this Widowmaker. Finds a nice headshot in onto MG. Almost pops him out of that mech. Now coming up around the corner. But too many members there of China. Doesn't really want to go toe-to-toe with them, so does have to kite back as they maintain that high ground. We'll be wrapping back around towards the point where nearly that first tick has come through.
Yeah, we saw actually MG ironically be the one to show the Widowmaker here when China was on attack, so Hyper kind of drawing some inspiration perhaps to try to get those picks. Shot MG first, but isn't able to get anything, and you have to wonder, is this Widowmaker pick worth it when they can't find even the body shots right now?
Needs the accuracy to be increased significantly here if they want to work this one out. Mix jumping over to the other side, tries to stay alive as Undead goes in rather deep here with this Reaper. Will get popped back up, the biotic grenade coming through to burst him through, and has that life steal, but Hyper actually finds the shots coming through. That's going to be a double kill going over the Widowmaker, and now it seems like Hong Kong can just clean up. MG popped into the mech, is taken down, and that might just be the cap. We'll see if China wants to come in for another bit of contention here. Eileen still alive, but nowhere near that Dragon Blade.
They might try to run in here, but they don't have a lot of time to work with. Looks like Five
No,
King
they're
is
just going to play back.
Yeah. Looks like he might have wanted to go in there and try to buy some time, but they're going to let it go. So finally, a point on the scoreboard here for Hong Kong. Hyper got the double kill there. It was tracking Undead. It wasn't shown on screen, but Undead going in hyper deep, as you said. And when in raid form, he just followed him and then got that headshot there. Eventually took Yao Yao out as well. And that was the turning point. So a weak Widow at first, but it turned things around there in the end. Almost getting another here onto Yao Yao himself. We'll have to back off and get healed.
He was dangerously low, and Undead now going to go down. Does have that Death Blossom available now, but Hong Kong, they're going to be pushing through sound barriers from either side as they want to get in onto the point. Have 6 minutes to work with. Death Blossom comes down, but Mango is actually just going to get killed by Eileen. Gets that nano boost, doesn't even need the Dragon Blade. Just goes ahead, casually picks up 3 kills here for himself. He'll now have the nano blade to counter the next push coming through. And it's probably going to take a while for, the Reaper to get another ultimate, so they will just swap over to the Soldier instead. Yeah,
I like this play. Hyper, interestingly, will be switching over to the McCree, so triple DPS here. Maybe the McCree with the stuns going to shut Eileen down, maybe try to feel reminiscent of shutting down Shadowburn back in the old days, but we'll see if he can make it happen. It's going to be very difficult to do so, but will help burn down Yao Yao, who's been sticking his head out quite a bit. That's part of why the Widowmaker shots were so good on Yao Yao specifically.
See Undead just right up into the face of Mix. Will take him down as he tries to leap away. Big. Picking them off one after the other. Self-destruct just going to be thrown into the top left. And they're going to go ahead and find Hyper, who is now over onto that McCree. So not enough mobility. The roll and reload, not enough to get him out of the way of that self-destruct, so he does fall down. And it's just China right now coming up with these single picks one after the other to just dissuade Hong Kong from pushing forward. And that is what is chewing up the time on that bank.
I wonder if Undead will swap after he pops down this Death Blossom. Looks like he's trying to get the most money Death Blossom ever, whereas MG was much more willing to be liberal with his self-destruct there. Kind of hiding in the corners here, looking for an opportunity. Mue eating a ton of damage there.
Yeah, he's just going to get taken down Undead.
Going to switch again, this time to the Pharah, but it's not going to be the Pharmacy comp coming out, the Pharah Mercy. It's just going to be straight Pharah alone for the triple DPS. Not a whole lot of protection here, unfortunately, and this again takes away the Diva, which makes that Death Blossom so much more potent when they don't have the defense matrix to block it.
An odd choice. Hyper right now kind of playing reminiscent Beast from what we saw yesterday in our final series, swapping from the Diva onto the Zarya, everything just kind of going back and forth for him, so not really giving himself the chance to build up for these ultimates at any given time. That's going to be the Transcendence coming through here from Jazzy as they try to push in onto the point. Eileen with a nano boost will get taken down, doesn't even get to use the Dragon Blade. Hyper goes forward and just snipes him out there with a rocket. Primal Rage thrown out by Yao Yao as they try to keep this point in contention for the first tick. It's already been picked up here from the side of Hong Kong, and Undead has been taken out, and now they use the sound barrier. They do lose out on Mix, so that tanky frontliner is not going to be there, but the kills are still coming through as they pop MG out of the mech, take him down as well, but Eileen, doing some work off screen, finds Jazzy as Hyper just tries to throw down these rockets, but everybody focuses out the Pharah. They do take him out, and it seems like Hong Kong will yet again be staved off, but this time, not without reward.
Yeah, and this feels like a smart move after seeing it in practice. There's not a lot of heroes on the side of China. Hit scan to remove the Pharah. You've got Reaper on the ground, so finally Undead's going to switch to that Soldier. But yeah, Reaper on the ground, you have Genji who could try to do a little bit more there, and the Tracer, so they're switching this up completely to shut down the Pharah. But the concussive blast there actually knocked Reaper away. It's why his Death Blossom was so ineffective there in that last fight. So really good usage of the Pharah. They've taken up nearly 50% now of the meter, but now the Soldier's coming down. Here's the Dragon Blade.
Another nano boost. He knows that Transcendence down already had used it, so Eileen just swiftly going to find both of those supports, looking for a little bit more. If he can get the kill on the Mix, and MG comes through to go ahead and help him out with that task. So just chops him down. 3 kills there. Picked up by Eileen and friends. 2 minutes 45 remaining here for the side of Hong Kong. So, I mean, significant drain on the time bank so far. China have been holding out. That first tick did come through at least. So Hong Kong have something to work with.
Yeah, the Rocket Barrage is going to be very critical. If they can somehow demech MG beforehand, that's going to be how they want to use it. So he's going to be holding on to that one as long as possible until that opportunity arises. But there's so much hit scan now with Undead back onto the Soldier, and Shy will be looking to knock him out of the sky as well. A lot of tools to shut down that Rocket Barrage. Not going to be the only tool they have with Transcendence and Tac Visor coming up soon. Looks like they want to pair them all together. They're being very patient right now, kind of doing some eco pushing to try to build those up before going in for the all-ins.
They want to poke out where they can. Hyper's going to go ahead, enter into the point as Eileen tries to chase him through the skies, but not going to be nearly as effective. But it seems like Hyper, he hits the ground. It makes him an easy target here for Undead. He'll go down, as does Mix and Jazzy. And yet again, Hong Kong just kind of poking their heads. And like you said, they're not, it's being non-committal. They just go in, they build up a little bit for themselves here. Jazzy's still going to be without that Transcendence, but they nearly have 5 ultimates available.
Yeah, that was the idea there. They're very close to getting it, and this is going to be their last-ditch attempt. This ult push is going to be the last one they have, where they have this many tools to work with, almost the Big 6. Pandaren very close to that sound barrier. They do not want to lose Mue here, though. That will stagger their push significantly. They're just making sure MG is protected. That's why we're looking at Shy here.
Oh, barely Shy! Oh, he almost stays alive. Dropped the 4 HP before Mue is able to come back in here for the defense. Now Mango pushing forward, has that Tac Visor drawn out, looking for a target. It's going to have to be Yao Yao. Does have that Discord Orb, takes a significant amount of damage, but MG yet again finds a kill with the self-destruct, gets rid of Jazzy. And now Hyper in a spot of bother, just trying to stay up in the air as long as humanly possible, but Undead has that Tac Visor ready to go. Nano as well on top of it. Going hunting, will find Mue as he does exit, and helps find Hyper right at the end there as well. So Hong Kong stopped out, used quite a few of their ultimates on that push, and now it's just 45 seconds remaining. They got the second tick again, so they advance by another 33%. So they are going to give China a bit of a rougher time when it comes down to their own attack, but if they can get the completion here on this last-ditch push, that would be huge for Hong Kong.
I was watching Mango's first-person view. He's just so shut down by the self-destruct there. Then Yao Yao came in, so it started off well for them, but the respawn's coming in. Undead then has that Tac Visor against no Diva. This is going to be their last chance, Achilleos.
Yeah, sound barrier does come through here. Eileen with the Dragon Blade drawn out. Not going to be able to cut really through those shields. Bionic Grenade connecting in onto Mix, but he gets stopped back up, has that Primal Rage to keep himself alive. And now it seems Hong Kong are just going to have to try to go all in on the fight, but already using that major delay ultimate of the Primal Rage is going to be huge here. Could really cost Hong Kong. Point ticking up at the moment. Yao Yao just coming back in, has the Primal Rage available. Wants to go as low as possible before he pops this one out. Maybe he doesn't even have to pop it out at all, because it's just going to be Hyper and Mango, the only 2 left alive. And Mango, he's coming back from the respawn, so things not looking very good. Self-destruct done out there from MG. Just make sure that he couldn't possibly re-enter. They will be denied that full cap on point B, but they got the 2 ticks before the clock was drained out.
It's definitely a lot. We're seeing a lot of swapping on the side of Hong Kong, which is kind of a weakness for some of the teams that have been less successful in this group stage, is sticking with a composition that works. And in China's case, a composition that is absolutely positively very meta in terms of top-tier professional play. Remember, 4 of these members, or LGD, made it to the finals of Premier. They're sticking with the meta that the rest of the world is in professional play. Hong Kong's trying to switch it up a little bit here, running the Pharah to try to stop out China, and that worked really well for the first push when they didn't have the hit scan, but when Undead switched to the Soldier, they made it work a lot better. The shutdowns were really good onto Mango's Soldier. Self-destruct buying enough time there, and actually MG got the remech afterwards, so didn't even get taken out in pilot form. Bought enough time for Undead to respawn. That was their one big chance where they had that really successful rocket barrage to take it. This map is not over yet. The second point, very difficult to take, and is a possibility Hong Kong could do the same here, have a full hold. Feels unlikely, but going to be bringing Mango back onto that Reaper. We're not seeing any Sombra just yet shown. Looks like Mue wants to be back onto the Tracer.
So wants to play this one a bit more aggressively, but 86.5% is what China needs to beat if they want to take this. Hong Kong were able to push it pretty far, pretty close, but just shy of getting that second cap onto B. In the meantime, they're just having some fun out here.
Yeah, low grav, man. And I was a kid, all I wanted to do was go to the moon, just have those jump. I wanted to get the moon shoes. I guess now we live in a world where you can at least experience that virtually.
I feel like a lot of people watching this don't know what moon shoes are.
Well, Google it.
All right, there you go. That's the answer for pretty much everything if you don't understand it. But all right, on the assault now is China pushing their way in, and Hong Kong, they're going to be waiting outside the airlock. A bit of a sneakier attack. Not something that we've really seen so far. MG is over onto this Widowmaker, but won't be finding any targets for quite some time. They do spot the Lucio jumping around to the backside.
This could backfire really hard, though, if Yaoyo's able to get that extra damage off when they do get spotted. Looks like they didn't realize quickly enough, though, and everyone is going to get out.
Yeah, so now they've identified where everybody's at. They say, okay, you know, they're hanging out in space, so we'll just push in. We'll take Pandarin, who's the one all on his lonesome. They take him out. Mango trying to get his way in there. Will also be taken down. Jazzy falling, and it seems like Hong Kong, well, they tried to go for something a little bit cheeky, and it just does not pay off. Shot comes through. Mue barely stays alive. 4 HP. Good Lord, MG almost had that kill. Can't quite get it at the end, but still look pretty stylish.
Perhaps the idea here for Hong Kong was, we know MG is going to be on that Widowmaker. We watched him just wreck earlier, so let's hide outside where he can't get any value. Then immediately, Mue knew exactly where he'd be, and sure, they got the Widowmaker, but that's all they got. I guess that part at least went according to plan for Hong Kong, but everyone else was dead. And now China with just as large of a time bank as Hong Kong had to try to take point B.
Well, gonna be an answering Widowmaker here from Mango. Gonna snipe them out on this attack. Again, 86.5% what China needs to take this map, make it a 3-0. MG gonna get jumped on, has that Winston Tracer chasing forward, and he's gonna go down. In the meantime, Dragonblade will be drawn out here from Eileen, trying to get something done. Almost finds Mix, but he makes it back into the spawn room in time to keep himself in that. Pulse bomb from Mue not gonna connect in, so Eileen alive for the moment, dashes over into the pillar, climbs up to the high ground. Seems like he gets himself out safely. Oh, but the last shot there from Mango will take him down, swapping over to the Soldier.
See if MG, is going to switch to the D.Va now. Not really going to be able to find much with the Widow anymore. Shut down twice by Mue, so you got to think. Got to give some respect to the young player there from Hong Kong. Shy is looking to actually build up that Transcendence now. They won't have a Dragon Blade with it because Eileen was hyper-aggressive earlier, couldn't kill Mix, and Hong Kong holds firm for the time being. They've got a decent ult economy with this as well. Kind of an all-in there from China. They're switching and getting ready for the bigger push.
Well, that's going to be the nano boost thrown in here onto Hyper, who has that Primal Rage ready to go. In the meantime, Transcendence thrown down here by Shy, keeping everybody topped up for the moment. But now he's going to be a prime target. Leap over to the side as he tries to find that kill, but Hyper not going to be able to get it. Cannot take out that Zenyatta. Now Pulse Bomb thrown down here from Undead. Doesn't get the stick, doesn't get the kill, but denies Pandarin the sound barrier mid-drop. And China is just stomping their way through the members of Hong Kong at the moment. Mango rejoining the fight, going low, throws on the Biotic Field. But you see Eileen cutting forward, and he has to run back towards the spawn, and that is just going to be it. They exceed the 86.5%. And now it's a 3-0 here for China. One final map available for Hong Kong to try to put an extra point on the board, to try to keep themselves, you know, in a spot where they can actually upset the Chinese squad.
Yeah, it's just so tough to do so when the fights are so well coordinated by China. I wonder if we'll see that Undead play of the game there at the end. Very likely. See who we get here. Will be Eileen, actually.
Over on the Genji. Taking
some Undead's fire away tonight. She comes in. It's going to be the Nano Blade earlier here for the defense.
The nice 3K at the end. Get some help from his friends to take out Mix. And I mean, a stronger start on the defense there.
More comfortable soldier here on the defense. Eileen will be on the Sombra. As we see the attack composition coming out from Hong Kong, it's going to be their standard. Mue on the Sombra for their last attack.
Yep, it's going to be the Sombra battle coming through. Very forward position there from the side of Yao Yao, just spotting them out as they come out the gate. Flip back safely, wasn't really punished for that.
Eileen has a massive ult advantage because obviously he has the health packs and he's in a forward position, just build it on these tanks as he's been doing all series long. Already at 56, 57% here for that first EMP.
I mean, as long as he maintains control over the big health packs here, he is just going to be stomping out Mue as far as the ult percentage is concerned, as you say. Now, just hunting Jazzy all the way back to the spawn, keeping him contained. And he can just stay here for a little while because he could exit with the stealth, but get the call for help there from Jazzy. The rest of the squad comes back to try to deal with him.
Okay, he's got that EMP available. Look at the angle he's going to try to go for to hit the massive one. Shy nowhere near the Transcendence right now, so this could be huge.
Barely got it. Yeah, we'll be coming up here in just a couple seconds. In the meantime, both of these Lucios going to be traded out as 5King does go down. Mixie able to track him out and takes him out. So nice little pickoff coming through here for the side of Hong Kong as they try to get this payload moving. Just now rounding that first bend. So has been slow and steady thus far, but not really gaining too much at the moment. Undead will go ahead and get EMP'd out, but that is not dissuading him at all from pushing forward into mix. Helps him pop him out of that Mac. Haven't been able to get the kill yet. Still is alive, but should be going down momentarily. You would have to expect it now. Eileen throwing out his own EMP. Will be taken out immediately, but 5King is there to scoop up a kill onto Mango, and Undead's back over onto the high ground. Has attack visor available. Will go ahead and pop this. Tries to wrap around the corner, but can't really find anything and just absolutely actually wastes this one out. So Undead, a very rare use of that ultimate with gaining nothing.
Yeah, that was actually a really weird set of exchanges. Both EMPs found very little. A lot of harass going on to the DPS as Undead just wanted to get the kill on the Petar in there, I suppose, but unfortunately he just ran away. But still, Hong Kong not really finding much of the push here, so even though it wasn't the greatest attack, or sorry, greatest defense there with attack visor and EMP from China, they still stall out this payload and burn down that clog.
But Eileen, though, going to be very far behind on this next EMP. Mue ready to have his available, and perhaps that's going to be the thing that breaks open the fight here for Hong Kong to continue this push. Minute 40 seconds remaining. Yao Yao going forward, has that Discord orb. Is forced to pop out that primal rage to keep himself alive, and now he's chasing in, looking for Jazzy. One more hit will do it, and MG is there to scoop up the kill.
Nice hack there, preventing that Transcendence from coming down. That would have been a nice boon for Hong Kong to have, and now he's getting closer and closer to that faded EMP. We'll be able to make it work a little bit better this time than the last one.
This is just health pack wars at the moment. Just back and forth. Somehow Mue able to get the one inside the gas station. But right now Hong Kong, look how stacked their ultis are. Have all 6 available. But if they can't make this work, if they can't complete this push with all 6, then you'd have to expect that their hope is pretty much gone. They're going to go in for the fight. Mue dropping it down that EMP. Transcendence still comes through here from the side of Shy, and now it's going to be the sound barrier. Ends it out, but immediately denied by Eileen with his own EMP. Gets rid of all of that shielding, and Jazzy is going to be the first one to fall, as you might expect. That Squishy Zenyatta not able to stand up to the pressure that China is applying. Undead, another attack visor available, trying to get Mix out of that mech. Sees that he's dangerously low. Almost loses it out. Will get it now. And he is going to be free to use that attack visor, but the cleanup is so clean from the rest of the squad. He doesn't have to use it, can hold on to that.
And with the essentially mirror comps here, China had the defender's advantage. They had the better EMP, they timed it better, and they had the Transcendence available. Shy made sure he was positioned far back enough when they knew the obvious EMP was going to come in. The Transcendence was there, the answer. Undead being patient, not even using his attack visor there, realizing he didn't need it. And now China with a massive ult advantage, and Hong Kong, it's got 15 seconds. They have one EMP, maybe that's going to be the miracle one.
I mean, Mue needs to do something crazy with this one, throws it out, but so far, nobody on the side of China has died. Shy, not even being touched in the back line, just free to build up for his next Transcendence. Now Eileen has an EMP of his own, self-destruct right at the end. A nice little firework for the end of that attack from Hong Kong. They will be stopped just in front of Big Earls, and the stage is set for China to go ahead, close things out with a 4-0 here, a 12-0 throughout the duration of the group stages.
Another full hold. And all it's going to take for China now is a push around the corner of Big Earls. Historically, Hong Kong and the Sombra play on this map have been stronger defensively, but they're going to have their best defense of the tournament right now to take just a single map off the home team of China right now. Mirror compositions, but the ult usage by far better there for Eileen. Patient positioning from Shy, hitting those Transcendences. And now, let's see what Hong Kong wants to bring to the table. Looking like we might see something super weird here, but we're not out of the gates just yet with the tanks here coming out, the Jazzy Roadhog and the Hyper going on to the Reinhardt. I suppose it's a possibility.
Jazzy Roadhog sounds like a new Roadhog skin.
Sure. Or another one of Doa's high school bands, I'm not sure.
That too. Either or, but it seems like they are going to be
they want to run it
forward with this one. And Jazzy seems to be moving back away towards the spawn, so perhaps we won't see that Roadhog after all. But Mix seemingly going to be running the McCree. And okay, well, not the Roadhog, but instead it's just going to be the Zarya.
Let's hope that Hong Kong doesn't drop another HK9 on us here like we saw on our last escort map of Dorado.
Oh dear.
They need to make sure that with this tank composition they stick with it. It looked like they were considering maybe running the Mei last time. They had some indecisions with the comp, but this time at least they're in position to defend the escort. Altogether they've got the double tank here, an older style. They can even add some extra protection for Muay when he goes in for the dive. May surprise China. And they're just going to be sticking with the standard comp. We'll see Undead switch off of the Hanzo after he drops out the Sonic Arrow. And it's just straight standard. Oh, no, the fan service McCree.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get that mirrored McCree matchup coming through. Some spiciness for this last little push here in this matchup as China starts moving forward. Not sure how much of the Hong Kong squad they've identified at the moment. Do find Muay, see that he's going to be operating there on the Sombra, but they likely anticipated this one. And Undead is going to go ahead, win out that McCree battle, finds Mix on the flank, just zipes him out at a distance. Nicely done there by him, and the payload already getting ready to move up into that final location for that victory. He's firing away, looking for Muay. He jumps back with the translocator. Reinhardt is jumping over with a flashbang straight into him, and the headshots land. Hyper goes down, and China is just destroying Hong Kong right here, right now. All in the back of Undead and this McCree. Coming up with multiple kills, and that is just going to be it here. Payload slowly pushing its way in. Mix wasn't on top of it, actually, so a little bit of an HK9 at the end, but
okay.
you know, he was going to die.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You put Undead on the McCree, the hero that he's very strong at. One of the heroes he's made a name for himself here with the home crowd of China back on LGD. Brings out